So I think we can start. I'm glad to see everyone here in our extra event. Today we will talk about a very important topic, and this event was organized by Human Rights Vector NGO and World of Tolerance NGO, and we think that it's very important to involve people in human rights movement because together we can resist our common enemy. And this enemy called Ruscism. And today Sasha Romantsova tell more about it. And Sasha, I'm very thankful for your participation and your lecture today. I think you can tell more about you and your experience, but previously, I think Sasha Zurian can tell more about our school and why we decided to start this event and others.
Yeah, thank you, Lera. Nice to see you, everyone. So I'm Sasha Zurian. I'm head of World of Tolerance. It's an NGO from Georgia, which is a partner in this project. And so this event is we treat it as a big opening for our online advocacy school for Georgian and Ukrainian community leaders, which will start already in 2 days. And so we created this project out of the need and out of desire to speak more about the narratives that try to obstruct the work of human rights defenders and civil society in our countries, and to change these narratives and to show that actually we are all working on the same goal, and this global goal, one of them is integration in European Union. And that's why we thought that it would be very important to not only include those who were selected for the school, but also those who wanted to participate. But because you were so many, that's why we're here today. And I'm very excited to start our adventure for the next couple of months. Thank you.
Thank you, Sasha. And I invite you to write something about you in the chat. So where are you from? What are you doing? And etc. For create our community. And Sasha Romantsova, I invite you to speak more about you, about your expertise, about Center for Civil Liberties, and of course about Ruscism.
So people, really good morning for whom it's morning. For me, it's like deep night. Now it's 3 a.m. in United States, where I'm now from. Speak with you. So I need just to check. I'm just curious about that. Is it okay for all of you that we speak in English? Just give us some reaction. You have a reaction in different way. So just for me, understanding that maybe sometimes I will just explain some difficult points in the Ukraine because I see a lot of people who I think understood Ukraine. So we have like two options because not so many people put the thumb up. So I'm started. Okay. Yeah, because we have colleagues from Georgia. We have colleagues from Ukraine. Yeah. Okay. Okay, I see some reaction. So let's, how our president told, I mean, Vladimir Zelensky, so yeah, English too important, that's why we need to learn it, because it's one of our possibility to be implement in the international work. So yes, I'm executive director, Center for Civil Liberties. There's human rights organization started work from 2007, and we are like really proud that exactly Valeria Rybak and Alexandra Delementyuk was at the beginning of organization when they was just like 5 people started. So we're really proud. It's one of our founders, like in the ideological way. So so And maybe Maria Tomak, you remember it, like saying she now work at Crimea platform expert network. So all of these people bring a main idea of Center for Civil Life. Main idea is providing standard of human rights everywhere at Ukraine, but when Ukraine started being not only like, you know, selfish country, which exactly think that human rights inside the Ukraine can exist without environment around. So we started work a lot with international advocacy. That's why Valeria to join to your program, and I will be and I will be exactly trying explain how we work with international advocacy. And you know that Center for Civil Liberties now have an award. It's Nobel Peace Prize, which we have in 2022. And yes, nobody will sure know why, because they sure give, like, you know, announcement in press and explain because we are long term like fighting against the dictatorship. But 50 years it will be a secret who exactly nominate us and why, and not they choose, what kind of competitors we have. Why so? Because it's like it's tradition. So we will not we will find out how it's happened only after 50 years, but around the Ukraine, like Russia and Belarus, because our partners, our friends, which together with us was awards, people who like loudly and vocal about in Russia and Belarus about crime which Russia bring to Crimea in 2014, people who support us to documented war crimes in Donbass, to support us on international level, give the understanding that Russia now it's a big dictatorship with oil and gas, and it's a really bad business partner. But these people now suffering a lot. You know that Ales Bilatsky from Belarus, he is sitting second time at the jail, and Memorial totally destroyed like organization, because at Russia Federation they abandoned like Human Rights Center Memorial, International Memorial, but it's a movement. So now they rising up in other countries. So that's our partners. And exactly international advocacy of human rights for us started to be a really important part of defense of Ukraine, exactly, because today we will speak about Ruscism. It's so important to have this special terming explain what exactly happened inside the Russia Federation, because when we trying to use something, it's like kind of fascism, it's kind of Putinism, or it's kind of something. It's not give us opportunity exactly put that in the legal way, like concrete term, and after this recognize it, the acts people who exactly support this ideology or acts inside this act inside this ideology don't give us opportunity to proclaim it like a crimes. So that's why Ukraine exactly started this initiative, concrete describe what that means Ruscism, and send it to UN, EU, and a lot of different, for example, academic round circles, just to explain who they are exactly. People who support Ruscism, act inside the Ruscism. It's not always exactly Russian by ethnic or nationality. That's really important to understand, that we are not speaking about how the Russians need to die. It can be like populistic some phrase, which exactly we are not support, because it's not a question about ethnic. It's a question about action and responsibility for action. So I propose to think about Ruscism. I am really proud to show you person who start this term, And why exactly I'm so proud? Because this person worked at the Center for Civil Liberties, like short period, but half of year has. It's Astap Krivdik. So look at the data. That data, it's 2010. It's even before Crimea annexation. So that's at that moment, people, really smart people, look at this tendency and started understood that Ruscism started form like a special flu. So we need to recognize it, understood the description, what kind of characteristic we have in the Ruscism. I'm reading it in Ukraine. I will send you this first. I will send you in the chat. Yeah, in the chat. This first meeting group chat. This first article about that. Again, Astap now fighting at the front line in Ukraine. Before that, he is graduated from London School of Military Strategy, and he's a really smart guy. And we have a time he was the manager of Belarus project in 2022 at the Center for Civil Liberties. And so he's the first who see that it started to be a tendency. And we will speak about Ruscism in some category, but it's really now big flu when Ukraine trying to explain what that means for whole the world. And that's why I proposed for you, look at the 6 minutes. It's easy, it will be like for us discuss Ruscism. If you look this video for 6 minutes, I will turn on words inside that maybe who is better read in English than hearing, but it's really a really cool video explain how the combination of different characteristics of Ruscism, because Ruscism, it's really mixed ideology. Exactly, they take whole the bad from whole the ideology. Fascism, Nazism, communism, imperialism, imperialistic, chauvinistic ideology, all of this. So, so I propose to look at that, look how it's happened, and after this we will discuss how we can exactly stop it and what kind international actions need to do human rights defenders from whole the area which exactly understood problematic and of Ruscism, because it's not only Russians or Ukrainians, it's Belarusians and Baltic countries, it's Caucasian countries, because all of us, like neighbors, Central Asian countries, all of us, like neighbors, we exactly understood what's the biggest threat that Ruscism spread in the world, usually together with the Russian language. But not because Russian language should act like this, but Russian language used for that. So just I need your reaction. Do you have exactly a sound and good view?
Ruscism, the darkest idea of the 21st century, which has become the driving force for the Russian president, the Russian army, and the Russian people. What is Ruscism, and how did it emerge? How did the world miss its birth and help it evolve? The word first appeared in 2014. Ukrainians came up with it as an accurate abbreviation for Russian fascism. After Russia's occupation of Crimea, Ukrainians were the first to realize that the whole of Russia is infected with fascism, but the world wasn't ready to believe it. The war Putin started in Europe in 2022 proves that Ruscism has totally won in Russia, and now is threatening the world. Ruscism, in a one-party system without real elections. It means a cult of personality of Putin, who has ruled for more than 20 years. It's the idea that Russian people are somehow divine, and so have exclusivity over other nations. It means denial of the right of existence for Ukrainians, and these ideas are propagated in the media and in churches throughout Russia. Ruscism is militarization and expansion. Russians support the invasion of Ukraine and threaten the world with nuclear weapons. Ruscism is the domination of the crowd and elimination of any importance of minorities. It means mass gatherings around new totalitarian rituals and symbols. How did Russia become like this? Why didn't the free world see Russia's growing fascism over the last decade? Ruscism is a revanchist ideology. During the Soviet Union, Russians thought of the USSR as their empire, like in the days of the imperial czars. They felt this disintegration was a huge defeat by their enemies, the West, and it had to be avenged. During the economic decline of the 90s, memories of the imperial past kept Russians proud. Populists explained poverty and lack of achievements as attacks by a conspiracy of superpowers in the West. All this while the West believed Russia was reforming, becoming liberal, building a market economy. It even forced Ukraine to give its nuclear weapons to Russia under security guarantees that were later ignored. Vladimir Putin came to power under revanchist slogans and started the Second Chechen War. But the West wanted to see him as a young liberal leader of democratic Russia. It didn't see the genocide of the Chechen people by Russia's army, and it ignored the hybrid wars supported by Russia in Moldova and Azerbaijan. The free world thought that doing business with Russia was the best way to prevent a resurgence of its instinctive authoritarianism. They thought that a wealthy society meant a democratic society. But Putin used billions of dollars from oil and gas revenues to strengthen special services, rearm his army, and establish control over the media, and then instigate propagandist mass culture, including co-opting Victory Day, May 9th, Russia's main holiday filled with military parades. That day, celebrating the World War II victory, has been turned into a central uniting idea of Russian society. The popular motto in Russia today is "We can repeat it," meant now as a threat to the West, their perceived enemy. Putin encouraged Russians' dreams of restoring the old Soviet borders, beginning with Ukraine. State propaganda declared that Ukrainians and Belarusians are all part of the Russian people. Those who supported Ukraine's independence and national statehood were named Nazis. And then came the invasion of Crimea in 2014, when Ukraine did not manage to ensure that media has been working on forming an image of the external enemy, NATO. The rapprochement of Ukraine and Georgia with the West was perceived as a life-threatening event for Russia. The West was pictured as immoral and weak, unlike spiritual Orthodox Russia. Russians were ecstatic when in 2008 their army invaded Georgia under an invented pretext. Western reaction was predictably sluggish. The Kremlin understood that Russians liked military force and the West would do nothing to impede it. That's why when Russia quickly occupied Crimea in 2014, the level of Putin's support broke records. Even liberal Russians and political opponents of the regime supported the occupation. They were ready to forgive everything to return the territories of the empire. One people, one empire, one leader, just like 300 years ago. After February's unprovoked invasion of Ukraine, the last dissenters left Russia. The rest of the Russian people are blinded with Ruscism and can't see it. These Russians support the war against Ukraine while ignoring the contradictory justifications. Russians are told they started war to prevent war. They deny the existence of Ukrainians as a people and think they should be eliminated. Russians think they're liberating Russian-speaking Ukrainians. When they see that Ukrainians are not happy about that, they accuse them of treason. The peak of absurdity is that Russists are convinced they are at war with Nazi fascists led by a Jewish president. And then according to that logic, countries which don't support Russia must also be fascists. Ruscism is turning into a global threat. The only country besides North Korea making direct nuclear weapons threats to the world. It seems Ruscism's fundamental ideology allows for the destruction of our entire planet if the world refuses to live by its rules. The world has been ignoring the threat of Ruscism for a long time. No longer can it be ignored. Ruscism is an enemy not only for independent Ukraine, it's an enemy for the whole of mankind and our strive for freedom. The free world will certainly win over Ruscism this time, but this evil will try to reemerge. Humanity must find a way to prevent Ruscism from taking root in future generations or face even worse threats in the years to come. Russia and fascism must be stopped now.
I will send you this video. I think it's quite important to show it, maybe for your friends or maybe people who are interested in that outside of your countries, because it's good material and it's good explanation in short version. When I started prepare for understanding what that means Ruscism and why exactly we need it, how I told you that because first of all we need to identify what we want to stop, because if we will speak about our past Sakharov and other human rights defenders from Russia Federation, they do a lot both for Ukraine independence. So it will be look really bad exactly from international partners side when we say something like, yeah, just hold the Russian, it's like bad. No, because it exists a lot of important things which exactly connected with Russia or Russia language or Russia Federation. So it's really stupid strategy trying to just reject hold the Russians. That's why we need concretize what exactly threat and what exactly problem. So that's why Russian started to be more and more, Russian started to be more and more describable and more details happen what exactly we mean when we speak about Russian fascism. So I will just show you that in video that was one of the point when what that means Ruscism. But I will show you one more like text, because I'm trying to I'm trying to show you whole the possibility to exactly turn on your attention. That's why I try to change the view, which exactly you can see. So what this means and what exactly category we have. First of all, violation of human rights. Ruscism, it's exactly understanding that now or hold the human being. Only collective important goals can be exactly state need to protect. Why it's happened at all? Because speak about freedom of rights, individual person, its aim is only be protected, because it's really easy to protect the person. If it's, for example, living in glass coop and just running bicycle give you energy. It's really really simple, like mirror, protect people in this way. When we speak about protection rights, and I'm now in USA, and the most important, what was included in their constitution, that people have a power. That means each individual have rights, have freedom, because they have a power. Between individuals can happen different communication, like result of evolution, include like such form like political national states. But that's not mean that this different society the national constitution, for example, like now, violation of human rights. It's one of part of Ruscism. It's trying to take our power from us. That's why the idea of small person, which was cultivated in Russian literature during the Soviet Union time, again, not all the Russian texts by the Russian language have this cult of small person, like a common person, a person without any differences, person without any talent, this idea of cult of small person, because it gives you like imagination that you don't have a power, you're just a small. That's why. So it's like in different a lot of Russian writers or people who wrote in Russian language exist much better, much talented proposition which need to be included in Russian literature. But no, they choose exactly not best even text from Chekhov and not best even text from Dostoevsky, but because it exists this cult small person. That's why small person is not valuable. Like much interesting, great country. Yes, small person and great country. That's main idea, because it's always, you know, for me, that's always a big difference. It's great and exactly huge. Russia, it's a huge, bad, organized country, which exactly people uncomfortable life have. People don't have their vocal voice. They can be exactly realize their talent there, but they're huge. For what exactly? Just to be a geographical, like, huge. That's all. So that's why violation of human rights is a big part of Ruscism. Small person, huge country. Like how they told. Great. Next one, cult of power and militarism. It's great, important, basic of Ruscism. They call that sign violence. What does mean? That mean like this idea of Stalin, if not exist a person or group of person, it's not exist a problem. So when we spoke with different deportations, for example, from Czechia and Crimea Tatars, they deported from there Greeks, Armenians, Bulgarians. They deported from Ichkeria. They deported from exactly from south of Ukraine. Was deported. We have Koreans, native population here at Ukraine. All of these people was deported because it's an idea of that my aggressive, brutal action, it's way how we solve the problems. That's why when you speak a lot with common Russians, you see that you can just hit them, just shoot them. We need to shoot all the people which we don't like, by the act, by the behavior, by some of the drink, or because they have, for example, drugs addiction. So we just need to kill them. That's all. First of all, it's not work like that. If you have some environment, can be included in these vulnerable groups. But idea that it's cancelled and without any reflexy how this experience of Stalinism solve this problem, trying to solve this problem, just destroy groups which we don't like. Nobody look that exactly it's destroyed, because even if now some of person individual can support, I don't like this group, yes, you can limit them, you can take off their rights, you can kill them, but inside, under the conscious, we started understood that exactly I can be in this group next time. And that's why it's this cult of power and militarism, when you need to be inside the order, inside the violence system, that always create people who stop, who frozen. That's why society don't have like, you know, new economic models, new creative ideas, and all of that, or like new businesses, new technology. That's so this power and militarism. It's because if I will be inside this system, I will be not threat. I will be not this vulnerable group who will be killed. But it's not. It's not true. under the conscious, each person understood, no, I'm inside this of huge, huge scare system. Cult of leader's personality. Just a question for you. How you think, like, you know, it's like, it's not, now it's not a search of academic search, but can you put me please in the web chat, do like a Putin, like a person. I mean, he's interesting person for you or not? Not because he's like in the position, not because we want to exactly read his mind, just understood why he do that. But just imagine that you see this person, I don't know, next of your seat in your student group or something like this. It will be interesting for you person or not? Put it in the chat. Any language which comfort, so English or Ukrainian, both, like, help it. Nope. Nope, me. Okay. Again, if somebody wrote, I'm interesting, yes, such people usually interesting, it's okay. So it's not because like, nope. So, you know, I put this question a lot of different people, and most of them started to explain me, he's so interesting, you know. He is so we call that in Ukraine like явище, yeah. So he's so interesting that he exists and the situation around him and his leader position. Yeah, but without that, is it person concrete? Like, yes, it's like first what you look in him and think, yes, he's charismatic. No, Putin quite gray guy. I mean, like totally common person with exactly looks like not interesting. I mean, it's not because I'm now trying to body shame him or something like this now, but exactly that's the biggest of part of exactly this leadership personality cult. That's me. That any person not need to be smart, not need to be really mercy, not need to be really charismatic, not need to be even like have some, you know, some of way of beauty or something like this, maybe some expression or something like this. No, he don't need to be exactly nothing to start to be a person which was around him, create cult. And this school, why is not marketing strategy? Why is not just pure any logical, like complex understanding? It's have only magician thinking that, okay, we don't know why, but it's work, you know, it's magic. But it's truly it's a problem, because I think even Putin think like this, because I think he understood he is not a great guy. So that's why exactly he believed that I'm like, maybe I'm a lucky guy, maybe I don't know why, but I'm talented or something like this. And that's why he believed nobody can fight him. Nobody can exactly make his victory unimpossible. He believed in that, in his magician thinking, and he spread this idea that we need a Putin like a symbol. We need a Putin like, you know, like this golden cow or golden Taurus, and the Bible exists. Yeah, well, it will not give us nothing, but we will pray for him because we need to pray somewhere. So so it's cult of leadership personality, and look at that. They're trying to figure out how people feel about Putin. But now nobody has this information, truly this information, because for this you need to have sociology questionnaire. You need to have sociology you need a true understanding. People need to answer true to understood how they have what kind of connection with Putin. But people don't do that. People afraid, so they will give them like expect expected answer, social expected answer. So, so this cult of the leadership personality connected really with some of psychological problem of people who have a trauma after Second World War. Exists really great searching about trauma of generation and how this trauma of generation of Second World War retrauma, next generation retrauma, and next generation. It's this trauma is changed. So. Cult of personality put in line of the fifth wave of retrauma after Second World War. One of part of this trauma exactly that I don't wanna responsible for my life because I do that bad. So people in Russia Federation main idea, spread the main idea, don't worry, smart people there, and this our magic Putin there, make a decision much better than you, and you will survive. Maybe not comfortable, but survive. So it's really interesting, this psychological searching connecting exactly with these waves of retrauma after Second World War. I will try to find these articles about trauma if you will be interested. Saying really interesting to read it. You will find a lot of common things. For example, for generation of our parents or grandparents, how they act and why they have such motivation act. Next one, this ideas of that Russians exactly unusual, great, much power than all other nation is. First of all, Russia, it's not a nation at all. I mean, it's a common, it's like, it's a big group of different ethnic nationality, which was quite disconnect with their understanding during the Soviet time, much more than all of us. I mean, all of the Ukrainian, Baltic, Caucasian, Central Asian country, much more inside. So when we heard that I'm русский человек, so like I'm a Russian person, that mostly if you ask what that means, they're trying to respect. I'm brave. Russians they're brave. Russian they're like straight. Russian mystery soul. All of this and okay, but can you exactly explain? And they try usually when you try and exactly ask some ethnic like okay, if we will speak about Persians, they believe that death is not and they like it. So if you spend out an opinion, can you give some answer about inside the Russian nationality, be inside the Russia ethnic, and you know all of them trying to give the part of Russian classic literature text, which exactly explain that it can be like it's totally can be explained. So that's why this moment when somebody told you are so cool and so unexplainable because you have a great level of nationality importance. And really interesting that biggest problem that a lot of ethnic group inside the Russia Federation try and be Russians. They trying to be Ruski. So I mean about from more ethnically more brightly groups like from example Dagestan or from Chechnya or from I don't know Yakutia somewhere. So people try and not describe themselves like Yakut or something like this. No, like, I'm Russian person, and this it's one of the biggest problem for rehabilitation. These people, if we will speak about this systematic Russian authorities, which now spread this ideology and all of this, because 140 million people, which exactly now feel themselves like great, but without any responsibility and without any action exactly. What are you doing to be great? Oh, I'm born to be Russian. That's all. It's all what it's all achieve which you have. just born here, and mostly by the statistic, at the place without toilet inside the building. Like, what exactly here in this way happen? But all of this combination, people really usually, when we're trying to speak with people who inside of this Ruscism system, they started jumping from one this position to other. So you can concentrate them to think about something, and they have concrete addiction, psychological addiction process. I mean, when hold their arguments or hold the facts, which mostly fake facts of Russia's history, finished, they started screaming you. They started they feel emotionally pain to discuss and to realize that what they told about, it's not logic and not real, it's not realistic. So it's reaction of person who addict from something. Okay, use language and culture as the two explanation possible of the Russian world. I just give you one example. When communists, because it's one of the part which is exactly coming from communistic ideology, when communists exactly understood that they like fight and they kept like catch the big country, which biggest number of population can read, what they doing? They do two things. First of all, they found some kind of cultural values which exactly don't need a reading. First of all, it's cinema. You heard about that. Lenin told about the cinema, most important like art which we have now. Why so? Because by cinema, it's really big fluent without needing to give the people education. Second, that was monuments. Monuments of concrete people explain that it's not simple guy, it's a guy who have like monument now. And look, for example, it's really interesting for me to have this understanding from Georgia. I don't have this perspective, so if you give me example, it will be great. It's Ukraine, for example, we have huge numerous of monuments. Pushkin, he was there, like son. And for Russian language, he's deported. It's understandable. But what he's doing in Ukraine, we don't know. Same situation with Shevchenko. You know, that's our biggest part, our symbol of fighting with Soviet Union time. Russians told about that Shevchenko was a fighter for labor rights, not individual, not national rights, but labor rights. Because they use he's like a symbol that was old Ukrainian suffering nation. And now communists coming, and all of us we join to the great future with a common freedom. And that's why everywhere, if you look at the Taras Shevchenko during the Soviet period, just a few of his monuments is a young, really young boy who can fight, or really old man who tired and loose. So if you look at him, exactly, he died at 54. He was not tired old man. Even when you spend like part of your life in Kazakhstan in that moment, that's not mean you're tired. And that's why, for example, my favorite monument, it's in Washington, at DC, because it's a young, strong man, a lot of future, a lot of expressing of, prepared to be fight. So that's why so important understood that it's not just, don't touch these cultural symbols. They just, these people just wrote in their time. You can compare their text for our for our environment, for our values and all of this. No, it's not a problem of the author who is dying. It's a problem how, for what kind of symbols they use it for Russia world. That's why when somebody told about Russia culture, you can ask, do you hear something about from Stravinsky music? No? Maybe you maybe you reading in the evening before you going to bed, like Platon. No, maybe some poets who was not put in the literature program but cited in time. And a really important points, it's exactly expropriate really great poems, artists from other culture. It's happened with Ukraine a lot. It's happened with Armenian literature. It's happened with, for example, cinema from Baltic, cinema from Central Asia. So a lot of what exactly are Georgian, Armenian, I don't know, Kazakhstan, Estonian, Poland even, Ukrainian part of our culture was expropriated of the great Russian culture. And exists concrete law, you may be heard about that how the people who use the Russian language speakers, called the соотечественники. I'm trying to exactly translate it into English, not lose this combining of understanding. So it's co-fatherlanders. Co-fatherlanders. I mean, like I'm trying to like for. So that means that every time, like, have you heard about any other languages? So if you speak Latin language, you need to live in Rome or something like this? No. Only this moment when the language use it like a weapon. So like in really, like literally. So it's not mean that we are totally protect not using Russian language. I saw a lot of really bad fiction about Ukrainian Nazism and something like this translate at the great Ukrainian language. I mean, it's not totally as protected if you will not speak Russian language, not read something in Russian or something like this. No, but biggest like variety that you will have a lie information, manipulated information. It's if you will take it from sources who spread it totally in the Russian language. So they exactly use it, and exactly that's so interesting because like culture, it's a huge numerous of combinations. So that's moment that exactly someone combined from Russia, like representative of Russia culture, because a lot of people wrote in Russia, for example, living in Paris or something like that. So I'm not sure that exactly they express Russia culture, but at that moment they manipulate all of this moment. But here we have a good news. A lot of international movement to separate exactly. Before that, someone like Malevich, who exactly always speak about himself. He wrote his letters by Ukraine. He speak about himself like Ukrainians. And so it's not only, we not speak about Bulgakov, these guys exactly don't like Ukraine at all, but okay, he was born in Kiev, but he didn't like it. But when we speak about Malevich, Grinja, and other people who exactly was expropriated by inside the Russian culture, but they was exactly Ukrainians and expressor of Ukrainian culture. So I think the same situation can be understood from Georgia culture. It's a lot of what can you be proud of, I think, expropriated by Russia. So it's really important to have this movement, understanding now it's exactly person who expressed culture of Georgia. Okay, violation of norms and principles of international law and right of other states. Why so? Because it's if you have a law, that means you have agreements. But Russia don't like agreements. Russia always wanna have fascist, always wanna have a possibility to explain something by their own interest. That's why even that if you look at the process of creating of international humanitarian law, you see quite a lot of people who from Russia propose something, but really simple example. You know that UN have one of labor work exactly language Russians, And just when we started translate some of documents of UN to Ukraine, we compare Russian texts and text by exactly need to be same by the meaning when we speak about document of UN. And you know what? No. Russian language, which exactly was using in the international of translation in norms of international law, manipulative, change the meaning of these documents. So it's one of idea why exactly Russia need to be represent, and Soviet Union that started from time of Soviet Union need to be represent outside UN, OSCE, and all of this. And that started, for example, even if you took from beginning, if you took general declaration of human rights, you will figure out, if you just compare English text and Russian text, you will figure out that it's manipulative translation. So it's not because Russian language fault, it's because people who use it exactly manipulate them. So that's international, and this respect of agreement, it's one of the way how exactly Russian elites, it's typical elites, but like Russian power, many generation exactly, trying to explain why whole the world need to be responsible before them. But there are also the moment that exactly Russians still afraid of decision of international courts. For example, like 1 week before, Russia asked include them again to the Council of Human Rights of UN. You know that they going out from a pompa, from a show that wow, we don't need all this, but any official speech or any official document about we not respect human rights, we don't want to be a member of UN, nothing like this. And now they exactly ask to include them again, even in the Council of Human Rights. Do they will be responsible, and do they will bring their responsibility about rules of this council? No. But to be included of the system, they afraid to be not be included. Okay, creation financial armed support of legal armed groups, it's true. Create exactly gray zone like in Abkhazia, Ossetia, Nagorno Karabakh, Transnistria. We collect in one report 11 gray zone where exactly Ruscism bring the principle that people disconnected possibility to manage their lives. So I mean, population concrete. Ossetia, for example, they don't have a possibility to create the rules of their lives. Create, I don't know, legislation, create like some model of their life, like a state. Create Bach in 2015 in autumn. And 20 years passed through the conflict, not this time, but before. And still, I can see the hole in this, in the biggest number of Stepanakert building, and I can understood what caliber have these bullets. So it's just a frozen, and people can even require something to have enough money. For example, require something because you need to have money from this leadership country. For example, if Stepanakert repaired was by Russian money. So you can organize your own life in such way that you can, I don't know, make a business, have a new parliament, have a new model, like express your views, think about your future, or something like this. And it's happened everywhere where Russia Federation coming. So Russia Federation not have some population self-determinate or or have their own state, that they exactly disconnect the people with, because democracy, it's responsibility. It's not only that you have a voice, but you're responsible how this voice, what kind of model around of you, your life voices will build. So that's illegal armed group or illegal like combination of state. It's one of idea. That's why Wagner, just yesterday I have a speech at UN about situation around the Wagner, but Wagner, it's not only one. Now new legislation at Russia gives the opportunity any governor exactly at each state, it's part of Russia Federation, have their own private army, because it's not just like security firms, which exactly, it's a long story in around the world how can be limited this security firms of or troops, which exactly have like a business by the war, make a business by the war. But exactly in this way, it's private army. So it's the same. It's the same structure, same financial, and same results. Okay, use a method of warfare, prohibited, and organizing, crying out, killing, creating a condition for famine. It's one of idea exactly that some of vulnerable groups can be like figure out like ethnically or social or something like this. But women always need to be under the pressure, under the rules, under the control of men. Why? Because women, it's a tool. Tool for what? Tool to create new soldiers, new people who will not control their own lives. Tool that create new young, like children's. It's a human in the in the condition of childhood. It's a people who totally controlled by elders, not even parents, but any elders, emotionally, psychologically, economically, physically. So women's, it's tools, it's an industry to create new and new levels of control for such Ruscism ideology. And last one, nuclear weapon, and exactly this man-made disaster, which exactly Russia Federation and Russists use it like a main argument why you need respect and afraid us. If you can respect us, just afraid us. It's a nuclear weapon, it's bomb destroying, it's like Kakov dump, like crewing, it's a version of we kill a lot, we can go and dig something in Chernobyl. So it's like, it's one of idea that you can afraid of us because we unpredictable and we have a big, big arm. So it's just a main idea. What's no really here, it's using religion. Look, Russians, I'm not will speak about that Holy religion or Orthodox religion or Oriental tradition religion can be like problem by themselves. No. Interesting that Russian exactly, Russism exactly trying to use only some part of religion. I mean, religion ideology speak about responsibility by your own will. Yeah, God love all of us, like without any difference. If that your leader give you from God, you need to be poor. You need to do nothing. That after this you will have a heaven. All this. And interesting that again, it can be in Ruscism, it can be respectable to other forms of tradition, even Orthodox Church. Only Russian Orthodox Church have a right direction, that's all. And second point, it's called this joining of Slavic, because but Slavic, it's not about whole the Slavic nations. I mean, it's not Czech, it's not it's not, for example, I'm a Bosniak because Bosniak is Slavic. It's not about Macedonian Slavic. It's not about Bulgarian Slavic. No, Slavic is de facto to be a Russian. like Slavic, which exactly they create, imagine like artificial form of Russian Slavic. So we speak about main characterology, but idea that it's complex. And each of them, first of all, it's manipulative tools to create this gap between person, his responsibility, person, his manage of his life, person, and his decision and inside his hand. And idea, that's why it's so, when we're trying to explain what the biggest problem in Russia is, that he opposites of democracy, because democracy, you have a voice, you have a power, you're responsible for your act, you need to have a rights to join with other people, to have a discussion, you can opportunity to have different position, but you have negotiation, and together you do something. All of this opposite of Russia. And I will send you this article for you. He was, yeah, soft power. Nemtsov. Oh, you will speak here, and sorry, I don't see the chat that you will speak about. Was smart and gorgeous. Yeah, and exactly, different people in different stage. I'm not a so person who will say about like any person in Russia can be a normal politician. No problem that exactly main idea from Soviet Union time, even exactly from Russian Empire, that no, we have absolutely not ordinary person in our politics. So this person can be unusual, but it's not true. Democracy about that each person need to have a part of manage their life. So if somebody asks me who, okay, if not Putin, who can be? Anyone, because it's a life of any people. So any person have a power to manage, to be a part of effective management of their state. Anyone. And that's a big problem that people not believe in that. But really important point of Ruscism, it's exactly, you are not even you are part of power. That's why so important that we need to speak about Ruscism, not about Putinism. Because Putinism told about that if we don't have a Putin, we will not have a problem. No. We calculate the numbers of people who exactly be in the have obligation and have a power during the 90 years, which we have aggression against the Ukraine from the Russia side. So it's near the 35 highest upper level people who have a politician mandate. We will not now discuss that election or not election in the Russian Federation, but Putin really loved to have a legitimization, I think in English, sorry, legitimist. So through this some process which we called like election, he always do that. He never, it's big differences between him and, for example, some of guys, some generals from Russia army who can be his competitors. He always told about, okay, you have a tanks, you have an army, you have a part of people with arms who exactly can be with you, but what will from some you are not elected by them. So for Putin, it's one of the it's not tradition. It's part of cult. For cult, you need to have some rituals. So election by Russian way, it's just the rituals of election. It's a ritual because it's cult of, it's a cult of leadership person. They always look at the numbers and saying, okay, maybe it's not true 90 who support Putin, but still, I'm a too small group people who not supporting Putin. I will not be. I can do something with that. So it's take all the possibility to change the situation. Why not Putinism, but fascism? Exactly, Russian fascism. It's Ruscism, because Putinism, that means only Putin will be responsible. It's not true. Responsible for each person who not stop him, who are not change the situation, who change the legislation for not even Putin, but whole the system ask and all of this. So exactly, Putinism, it's important part of disconnect people with their responsibility. For example, now we're working a lot with civilian prisoners. You know that thousands of people, it's civilians who was kidnapped from the territory of Ukraine. It's now like different numbers. For example, Lubinets told numbers like 25,000. We have our own database with 4,500 concrete names, because relatives appeal to us for tribunal for Putin. We have such initiative. So in our database, we know about 4,500 people. So what this means? That means that exactly when we started appeal to concrete administration of jail, when we know that they keep our civilians without any accusation, without any, sometimes even without any documents, so that's why they need to, when they change something and transfer these people from one jail to other, they give them inventarный номер. So just the numbers, because by the even Russian legislation, they don't need to have these people inside the jail. So, and when we started speak about that criminal case, open not against the Putin, but against you, director of the jail, it's turned back his responsibility to himself. They afraid we have 50 such prisoners, which we have a possibility to take back to Ukraine. They was just released. Not all of them can be taken back of the territory of Ukraine, but they are released, for example, and now they stay in occupied territory but they stayed at home, because they feel this moment when responsibility started to be personal, not this huge system. So that's why it's so important when we speak about exactly Ruscism, we speak about concrete Ruscism, like hold the people, hold the system, not about Putinism, like only one person, because I believe that Putin will be killed. Exactly. One of exactly Putin create this society cult of violence. And he speak about that. He bring this norma inside the families. He bring this norma inside the principle who is rule power and who can make violence. All of this. So I think that's why that we will see him in Gaga, because I think that he will be just a kill. It's too big territory that we will jail and not putting him in. But it's not mean that he can be judged. Even he will die, he need to be judged. Both hold this. So it's, I can speak about that like a lot more. So we have just 70 questions. Was a choice. That was a choice. It's true. Some questions. So I stop sharing. You can, and I will give you opportunity turn on the microphone, because I'm really interesting. Same hear you. So both for you. Sorry, it can be it's Ukraine or English, how it's comfortable for you. I will translate it if we need to do that. Okay. So any question, please, guys. No? You know all of this? Okay, Юля, please. You can talk.
Доброго дня. Мене звати Юлія Мельнікова, я представляю Бердянський державний педагогічний університет. Це, на жаль, тимчасово окупована територія. І я перебуваю в Тбілісі. Університет наш переміщений до Запоріжжя. трішечки такий інтродюс, вибачте. Щиро вдячна за лекцію, дуже цікаво, зрозуміло, хоча були такі побоювання щодо англійської, так, але матеріал структуровано і все вдалося. Я там писала коментар щодо soft power, так, ви говорили про те, що це в Радянському Союзі, так, на кількох рівнях було реалізовано, да, перш за все кінематограф, по-друге, це там пам'ятники і так далі. І хотіла б, можливо, так попросити, чи буде в нас можливість говорити про це упродовж наступних лекцій. Цікава тема.
Юлія, це дуже класний запит. Лєра, якщо ви вирішите включити це в програму, я вам дам з ким поговорити. Є чудовий канал Культур Тригер, який на YouTube Культур Тригер, які шикарно абсолютно з цим розбираються. То я дуже рада буду, якщо ви це включите. Це дійсно дуже крута тема. В тому числі, чому там і в радянській, і зараз там.
І зараз, так, бо ми ж
намагаються...
бачимо, що пропаганда прошита, починаючи від мультфільмів і закінчуючи там, і рекламою, і всім. Це, мені здається, що просто величезний
чиї
пласт.
Багатирі? Знаєш, чиї багатирі? Оце починається традиційно, оце, знаєш, картина там, де вони трьох. Ніхто з них взагалі не разу не з
не русский
Московії.
богатырь, да.
Sorry, I will just...
Okay.
Sorry guys, I'm just to repeat that we speak about this. One of the points, it's about culture, it's about using the symbols of culture during the Soviet propaganda period and during the now Russians, and it's really important to find out which age exactly all this mythology exists, because one of the example who is like Bogatyr, it's like warriors, traditional Slavic warriors. And all of them, there was not exactly from Moscovia, because I'm just remind you that Moscovia started by Russia during the Petr period, 1738, I think, or 31. So I need to check. Before that was Moscow Tsarstvo. So and even if we will speak about some guys from Novgorod was not a part of Moscow. That was exactly only one democracy city inside the system of Moscow kingdom. But Ukraine exactly have a democracy, and we have more than 300 cities with Magdeburg rights. So it's like self-management, self-government tradition. One of the deepest tradition. It's before Cossack democratic state in our territory. So, and do you know how many Moscow kingdom have the Magdeburg rights for cities? No, 0. Only when they exactly occupied the territory of events, they can include their history. Okay, yeah, it's a great ask, Lera. If we will have this possibility, I propose to include. It's really important point, because now when we speak about Russian songs in Georgia, both in Ukraine and all of this, even this moment when market of songs, it's both really important for Georgia, for Ukraine, because songs it's a huge part of our expression by our culture. So this market of songs, when you can take money only when you speak like singing in the Russian language, because you need a market, hold the Russian world and all of this, it's like huge discussable point about manipulation this market and about manipulation of this culture part. Okay,
thank you for this point. Yes, I think it could be. We will speak about narratives, and maybe during this topic we can discuss it, and also we will have some extra lessons, meetings with participants of school, where you can ask our trainers about some specific topic which interests you, and especially if you want to discuss it with your participants of your events, because after this school we expect that you will do some events for others and you can include it. So we have other questions. Thank you.
Yeah, Anya, please. You will be first and Galina second one. Anечка, please.
I wanted to improve my previous speaker, because we also have the problem with people who arrive here in Ukraine from occupied territories, and especially, I mean, about people who lived, who was occupied for some long time. Some people lived on under the occupation of Russian Federation since 2015, 2016, and now when our armed forces are successful, is successful in the our боротьба.
Fight.
Yes, about in our fight, they come here to Ukraine, and also they come through Sumy region. I'm from Sumy region. We have here the point of crossing the border between Russia and Ukraine, and all these people they were under the influence of Russian propaganda for a long time. And you know that a lot of children were there, and they attended their schools. And for 10 years, it's a very huge period of life, especially for young people whose brains are still
Develop.
Yes, yes, they
Still develop, still growing up. Yeah.
yes, and we, our society have to be ready to act to them, because their mind are not healthy. I mean that we have now we have to learn a lot about Ruscism, about the ways they influence on their people, and we have to develop our own methods of противодействия, of
fighting with
and to teach our children how to live with another opinion. Thank you.
It's first of all, yeah, I'm totally support you, because this respect for different opinions, it's really first step to rehabilitate people, because a lot of them afraid that all of you think that we are enemies, that we are traitor, and all of this. So that's we need to understand that these people need to be rehabilitated. But it's not mean they're perfect. Like Savch show all of us that you can expect that only angels can be attacked by Russians. So no, but anyone, even like Savchenko or other people, maybe we are not like how they behave themselves or something like this, but we still need to don't give any opportunity was kidnapped or putting them in the jail, like torture them or something like this. So it's really important to understand that we need to program of rehabilitation from informal like pollution inside the brain reality, which is exactly Russian Federation create for you 8 years. It's manipulative and it's painful, because how the people always feel the pain when they understood that somebody lied to him, and we are believe. This mechanism inside our head, it's literally painful. So many people like prefer don't feel this pain, so they try lie themselves again, trying to find support arguments the previous model and all of this. Yes, and that's why it's so important. like totally for children, for students. I mean, like growing up teenagers, young people, trying to find this opportunity to drop by drop give them medicine, like truly information, explain, and really, and not put them like they're victims, they're under the aggression like fluent. So it's important to believe that they can change their behavior. Maybe they still will be open, for example, for some, I don't know, cultural idea of Russia Federation or something like this. But I was such person. I mean, my part of my family, they're from Russia. I mean, exactly part of family who raised me up. My grandma and grandfather, and my mom, she was born in Siberia, and grandpa and grandfather from Tula and Kaluga, and I'm from Mykolaiv. I'm saying I'm from region which exactly before in the big city you can find the people who can speak normally Ukraine. So I started speaking Ukraine only in 18 when I come to Kiev, and in my room at the dormitory at the campus, that was girl from Khmelnytsky, Chernobyl, and Kalish. I don't have any other chance. I need to speak Ukraine. So, but so I know this feeling when at the 15 you believe that Russia biggest, best, exactly culture in the world, because around of you a lot of books about that. My parents and my grandparents, they are not push me there. They don't need it, and it's thank for gods that that's why we don't have a problem inside the family. But you don't need to push anyone. If the child enough read enough, it will be like put them inside this information bubble which was created by Ruscism ideology. So I'm such person who was rehabilitated of this by like light version by Platsky, you know, different Variniki, different Kotlяревsky, Enida, and all of this. Drop by drop, you feel the understanding that Pражska Grupa from Ukrainian poets, it's more I prefer much more than Gumilev and other guys from Silver Age of Russian poets. But the person who bring me this book, that was Maria Toman, because she was from they was from Lyceum and have a really great program of literature. So I find my own way how to believe of the talent of Ukrainian poets. Because I read it, really nice poem, which exactly bring me by the heart. So yes, we need to think about this rehabilitation program. Galina, please, your question.
Yeah, so hi everyone. First of all, thank you for this very insightful and interesting lecture. And my question is the following. So, of course, as you, Alexandra, have mentioned, Russianism and Putinism are like, we cannot say that this is Putin, this is obviously Russianism, but so far in the modern days, we still link Russianism with the persona of Putin because he's been in power for the last 20 years and he made all this happen. So, but my question is whether it should be linked to his persona or it's more like deep historical phenomena. I don't know, maybe, how can I put this? This is kind of a development of Russian colonial policies, which kind of resulted in this Russianism. Can we say so?
Mm-hmm. I send you article about why Russia is not Putinism for argument more constructive, because I will explain, but if you prefer it, you can find one more link in our chat. Yeah, first of all, yes, you see how Putin trying to use old tradition which started from Ivan Grozny. Exactly, no, look, like Ivan, terrible in English. Yeah, we all of you understand the horrible Russia, Grozny. It looks like he's powerful. He's a strong. Like Grozny, he's not. He's not bad. He's strong. So that's I'm just one more moment about from language which you can find. So Ivan Grozny, that was first guy who exactly which we have surely arguments about that, testimony about that. He first who changed the history. He find the exactly monks who do that letopis, hold this list, and change the history. That's why when somebody started told that was in letopis, so this one, yeah, but that does not mean that letopis was true. That can be combined after. So that was first guy who exactly understood that Russia be like its traditional society. So really important how people remember their history. So for people, it's like if that was strategy, would give opportunity our grandfathers stay alive. So it's good strategy. We don't need to change it. So that's the differences between traditional and non-traditional society. Traditional society, they believe that, okay, they survive in this way, so we will still survive in the same way. So that's why that was existed joke that Russia, it's a country with unpredictable past. So like Росія країна з непередбачуваним минулим. So it's really important to understand that that's tradition not started from exactly from Putin, but Putin really use it now. You see here like articles wrote something about history every time he compare himself with some. Now I'm Nikolai II. Now I am Piotr I. Now I'm something like this. Because why so? Because he's still really non-interesting person still. So that's why he trying to connect himself with some authorities which have much more tradition, create image around of them. If we will speak, exists only one project from Ziger which exactly I like. Ziger, it's a journalist. He wrote a lot about, he has all Kremlovskaya Right and all of these books about inside the Kremlin, but he has small project with the artist, and we'll find it for you. It's small cartoons about historical person of Russia Federation, but not how it's usual describe them, like Piotr, guys who is a create European kind of Russian, but they exactly describe how they treat the people, how they kill them, and all of this. I will find it if you give me a moment. So it's not tradition. It's not tradition which created by Putin. That's why so important that, because if you will speak about Putinism, that means that when Putin will be finished, it will be finished. It's not true. It's more complex system, and if we will like inside the whole this system around the Putin, we put Nemtsov can do nothing with that. Even he was quite passionable guy, and he can do that inside the system of Yeltsin. Nemtsov was a part of system of Yeltsin. Yeltsin really believed in Nemtsov, but he didn't do that. So same, even it works same in Ukraine. If you see some good minister, if he not coming with 30% of team of ministry, nothing changed. You can make a great decision, but if hands which implement your decision, like like this, you can do nothing. So I will find this small video. I hope it will be. It's like great Russian evil guys, great evils. So it's Великий русский злодей. It's I will make it one of them. So it's really interesting project because he exactly described. He exactly show about. It's look like this. It's small. It's really short video. It's look like this. I'm just show you.
Вот говорят, что реформатор он, спасал Россию в хаосе, в развале. Но в речь ушел Столыпинский вагон, а галстуком его петлю назвали. Атлет, помещик, муж своей жены. Всем нравился, кого не опроси.
Вам, дескать, потрясения нужны, а нам нужна великая Россия.
Мол, дайте 20 лет, трудясь, терпя, не сейте смут, свободы не домогайтесь. А все равно итог – тюрьма, петля, а в речи все равно вагон и галстук. Боюсь, ничто Россию не спасло. Таких рецептов нету во вселенной. Казалось бы, Столыпин, значит, столб. А видишь, эшафот и суд военный. О чем твердить, казалось бы, в стихах? Наглядно все как линия прямая. Нельзя прогресс покоить на штык, отнимая.
And they do that for each great person from. It's really useful to when somebody tells, but we have a Peter great, we have a Ekaterina great, and because they concentrate exactly how people are suffering during that period. So it's really interesting. I'm just sending you. It's like it's whole every cartoon in other styles you can find them. Even like Alexander Nevsky, which exactly was totally created like image. That's historical person was so, but that's totally created, and they describe how exactly it's like changed. Again, it's not commercial of the geek. I read one his book, and I may not agree which a lot with half of them, but it's a really cool project with a big part with different group of people. So yes, it's we need to think about that, and it's tradition. Because in that moment, we same passed this moment when we have 140 zombies near of our border. It's only exactly we are, I mean, neighbors can help to rehabilitate all of this and stop all of this repeat and repeat again models, which using of leadership model inside the Russian Federation, because it's still 140 million people. And that's why it's so important that need to be our plan. I understood that only we are with our common understanding with long period how many they attack us. They exactly attack Ukraine in last 300 years. I think they attack Ukraine in last 800 years when they started to create. Because as for me, as I understood history at that moment when Kiev was a big exactly country, and Moscow, it's exactly was created by people who don't like Kiev at that moment. So like Moscow kingdom, this swapping kingdom was created by the people who exactly don't like Kiev from beginning. It's long history. That's why so important. Yes, Putin need to be judged. What not happen with Stalin, who told that Stalin was a great manager or Soviet Union was a great model? You can answer them no, like world judge them like Hitler and Third Reich. So that's why it's really important. And for example, Memorial, they make a decision that before that 30 years they concentrate for rehabilitation of victims of Stalin crimes, Stalin regime crimes. And now they make a decision that they will figure out and make a historical investigation who do that, who by hand, and who make this decision, killed, sent out to Gulag, and destroyed the life of these people. It's really important change of perspective. Okay, Galin, I hope I answered for your question. So,
yes, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for a lot of insights and the links you have shared. So thank you.
Yeah, I prefer that not only my voice like is printed inside your head, but a lot of good material. So guys, I think we see each other at the first Sunday. Yeah.
Yeah, we will continue speak with Alexandra this Sunday, and we will start with our first lecture, our first part of school, and maybe Sasha Zurian tell more about it, but it will be about human rights and introducing of human rights, and so I hope you will attend us, and Sasha, I thank you today, and no, it really was interesting, and thank you, Galina. It really was insight. Many things which we heard today, we should spread. First of all, we should involve in our speech, involve in our understanding, and then we can spread it. Because it's very important to understand and understand how we can resist it. Sash, thank you a lot. I know that today in your place night now, so I wish you a good night, and I will hope we will see you at this Sunday with new information. And Sash Zarian, maybe you want to say something?
Yeah, we'll just shortly, again, thank you very much, Sasha, for this amazing webinar. I'm very glad that we were recording it because I think it will be very, very useful and informative for others who might not be able to join us today. And yeah, thank you all for coming, and I guess see you in 2 days. It's very soon. And in the next 2 months, basically, even 3. So have a nice day, night, morning, wherever all of you are. And yeah, thank you once again.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you and bye.